So, hello, Anton. Thank you so much for having this interview with us. I would like to start by asking you a very basic introduction, wherein can you tell us a little about you, your company?
Okay, I'm one of the founders of the street workout movement, which is famous right now all over the world. And I'm also the author and creator of SOTKA fitness application, which is also featured from time to time by Apple and Google in several occasions, and which is aimed on helping people to improve the quality of their lives through education in basic questions regarding fitness and healthy lifestyle. Actually, not my work, it's just a hobby, and I do also information technology. I'm a director at a company, and that's what I do for a living. But street workout and SOTKA is just a hobby and social activity for me.
Could you tell me a little bit about the company that you're working with then? That is another company then. It's not
Yeah,
related.
it's in our company. It's relatively small social
Right.
entrepreneur enterprise. But in Russia, it's famously known. But we do
Okay.
different IT projects.
So let me start by talking about the fitness movement in Russia. I'll start with that. So could you tell me very briefly what the fitness movement in Russia was like? Especially because you've mentioned that fitness in Russia was always supposed to be, uh, or earlier it was a thing of the rich. So only the rich people invested in fitness in Russia around 2009 or so, and then you started the movement to kind of reel back, like kind of bring all the people together and like promote fitness. Is that correct?
Not exactly. We in Russia have a very good background from Soviet Union. We have workout playgrounds all around the country, but they were in really bad shape because since the end of Soviet Union, nobody really cared about the street playgrounds and the leisure time for adults. We have kids playground built all over the country, but nobody did nothing for adults. But people still do sports on them, and it was free. And as for the traditional fitness with fitness studios, with personal trainers, even 10 years ago, not so many people could afford that. So many people just don't do any kind of fitness at all. And we decided to create an application called SOTKA, where we would guide a new person who decided to get in shape, start doing healthy lifestyle and so on, guide through all the questions he or she may have, and give all the information needed for creating like a basic level of physical training, physical conditioning, and also the understanding what is most important and what differs our app from all the other applications is that we are giving the knowledge. Even our motto is like, we give the knowledge, you get the results, because that's what allows us to give the one program to everyone. We have participants from 5 years to 75 years, both genders, totally different social lifestyles and backgrounds, and they all going through the same educational program and get great results. So it's yes, SOTKA both and street workout, which we have created, did a great job in changing the surrounding too, because of us, new street playgrounds were built all around the country. It's like thousands and thousands of new playgrounds where people can come and train any time of the day, and it's totally free.
Could you walk me through the digital fitness revolution in Russia then? How did it start? You were one of the people that were at the beginning of it. And so could you tell me a little bit about how the fitness revolution came about in Russia, and also what was the initial days, months, or years were like?
I could say that it is still going because we don't have that much applications. We mostly rely on applications from USA and Europe created by their companies. And as for Russian-made. SOTKA is one of the biggest names because we still not have very much people with smartphones which allow you to watch videos. That's one problem. The other problem is that the internet's accessibility is relatively low, only like in big cities, like in 10 or 12 big cities around the country, while we have about 1,100 cities in our country. So it's still going, and it all started with growing population and popularity of smartphones and their accessibility. Then the prices went down, and a lot of people could afford to buy a smartphone, like even iPhone 4 series. It all started growing. This was one part, the accessibility of smartphones, and the other part was the trend on the healthy lifestyle, which started like 10 or maybe 8 years ago, with growing popularity of social networks, Instagram mostly, and so on. And Russia was like any other countries. I think this trend was right for the whole world. We didn't differ much. So it's natural that appeared different companies which created or which copied applications which we saw on other markets, except for the fact that we are in the very early stage. Still, because of the internet accessibility, we're still in the very early stage, whereas a lot of upcoming growth in the next 5 to 10 years.
So, in fact, that brings me to one of the questions I had mentioned, which is that as part of my research, I found out that it's only in Moscow and St. Petersburg where fitness is really booming, even in terms of digital fitness, because it's one of the, two of the main big cities. But on a demographic basis, like how you said that you have over 100 cities, what is the fitness, the digital fitness realm like? How much is it popular in different cities? Could you give me an idea about that?
I could say that last year, due to COVID restrictions, we had really strict restrictions. Like for 2 months, all the fitness studios and gyms were closed, and even we have restrictions on going to the parks, so most of playgrounds were closed, and a lot of people started to working out at home using different applications, or also it was a big part, they were using YouTube videos, not downloading any application, but using YouTube videos and watching them from their computers, because they had an access to that. This is what shifted the interest. After we have restrictions removed, not so many people got back to the gyms because they saw that they can do as good training as we had in the gym with a personal trainer, but on themselves using YouTube video or using the application for training to track their progress, to watch exercise videos, to listen how to do them, and etc. etc. So it was like a big boost for digital fitness revolution in Russia, and it's still going. But as I said, yes, Moscow, Moscow is like 100 times bigger than any other cities in this term, and even St. Petersburg, it is lacking very much. It's like, I don't know, maybe 4 to 5 times smaller. It's like not that much compared to Moscow.
Okay, so from that, in fact, as you mentioned, in the COVID period, there was a definite boom in the digital fitness industry. So, how did that affect or translate into SOTKA and your fitness movement?
Actually, as for us, it didn't affect us much because we have a really maybe difficult for understanding application, because SOTKA is not only about fitness and doing, but mostly about education and learning. So it takes our participant to read a lot of stuff, to understand a lot of stuff, and to do a lot of stuff on their own. Like there is no trainer, and they are responsible for their success by their own means. And it's a part of our strategy because we want to make people more like leaders. So we didn't saw a great growth for our app despite the fact that we were several times featured in different platforms and even in App Store, we were selected as App of the Day. That's totally normal. Like yes, last week I received two interesting mails. One was from a guy who is right now at Antarctica in Russian expedition, and that means that SOTKA is the only fitness program which has users across all the continents. It's an expedition. And another one was from a person who firstly discovered SOTKA back in 2013, so it's 8 years ago. Back then he was in great shape, he was a sportsman, and this year, after several operations and not so good health condition, he got back to SOTKA and said that it was a great way to get back on track. So I think we didn't have that big growth due to COVID restriction now, but it will all pay later, like in a year or two. There are people who discovered SOTKA will get back to it and take the program.
Interesting. In fact, what were the early days of development of the SOTKA app then? What was it like in the beginning?
At first, SOTKA was just only a training program on a forum, on a site which we had about street workout. And for several years, it was just a forum topic. But at first year, we had like 300 participants. Next year, it was about 1,000. Next year, it was more than 2,000. And then we understood that
yeah, you need to go move it.
Yeah, that's we have people, community growing, and the quality of the product is really good. We had feedback from them telling that it was one of the greatest things they discovered on the internet. We thought that if we create the app, we could reach new audience through the App Store, through the Google Play, and it would be a great way to distribute our program. So we tried to do that. It wasn't really that good at the beginning, and it took way more time and money which we were thinking in the beginning, but it paid off. Like as I said, right now we have more than 700,000 installs and about 55,000 active users, and we are going to reach 1 million, our first million this year. After we will start the promotion campaign on US, Canada, and Great Britain in spring and summer.
How is the revenue, or how is the revenue from the SOTKA app for you and the other founders then?
Right now, the funds are not that big because mostly we have Russian users, and due to economical situation and etc., we have ways to get additional funding round to get through this valley, but we hope that bringing more American users will help us to grow like 5x or 10x in revenues, and this will allow us to go on the next level of development.
So what are some of the marketing and advertising strategies that you are planning to launch to attract these customers?
We are heavily relying on the mouth-to-mouth word-by-mouth strategy, and we're really limited in finances, so we decided to go through social networks, and we have already tried out one hypothesis on Reddit, which worked out really well. We got even featured on Algerian Facebook page with 400,000 users, and we got 5,000 installs, which was really a surprise to us. Now we just have to wait until spring and summer to make more video content, because all the content we have is being shot on the streets.
Yeah, that's interesting, because Reddit and Facebook groups aren't exactly, the marketing strategies that you usually hear about. What are your targets for the coming year then, in terms of SOTKA and your personal entrepreneurial growth?
For SOTKA, we are going to hit 1 million of installations this year. probably even more if everything goes okay. And second thing is we are still trying to find a strategic investor uh, who will understand our mission on getting the quality of life of people better around the world, and it would help us to grow even more. But mostly that's it. We have not yet shoot any educational videos in English for English version of SOTKA, so we are going to do that also. And we are trying to find translators for German and for Spanish among our participants or people who already finished SOTKA. So this work also going slowly, but it's still going. And it will allow us to get to the new people, because Hispanic community is still extremely big, and most of them don't talk English that good to understand the English educational program. So we want to reach them on their native language.
So what I wanted to understand was that how did you go from simply working out to, creating this whole revolution and entering into the fitness digital world?
It was never the working out, because right from the beginning, when we created Street Workout back in 2009, it was about three main things. It was first thing, working out on the street playgrounds as the most democratic way to get in shape, but it wasn't about doing more pull-ups and getting muscles. Then you work out, you becoming stronger also in your mind, in your spirit, and it helps you in other areas of your life, in your studies, in your works, and etc. So we were promoting working out as a way to become a stronger individual, to achieve more in your life, to set higher goals and to reach them. That's first thing. Second thing, after you start working out, you also try to get better in all the spheres you are involved into. You read more, you study more, you do some other stuff to become a better person overall. And the third thing, which is a social activity, which is also very important for street workout, is that you don't focus only on yourself. You are building a surrounding around you, you're building a community, a healthy community of people, and you help them develop themselves too. So that's the reason why it all spread around the world very fast, because we were focused on these three main things. As the movement grew, we had more and more people coming into street workout, and they all have basically the same questions in the beginning. So we decided what can we do about it. And SOTKA was just a follow-up to this whole situation. Like, we had a site and we had a lot of beginners. They have all the same questions. So we decided we put the answers on the site. So the next time somebody asks me or anybody else the question we already had answered, we just give them the link. And it's really worked well for several years. And after that, we saw a growth in mobile usage, and the prices for smartphones went down and internet accessibility raised up in our country. So we decided, why not to try to make an application. I reached a friend from school who was an Apple developer at the time, and asked if he can help us and develop a program. So in his free time after working, he was developing the application for us. Now the same then for Android, and now our Android is supported by a person who already finished. Like, he was working on a factory doing some really low stuff. After finishing SOTKA, he decided to took courses on programming, and he became a programmer, and now he earns like 3 or 4 times more when he was earning back then. And he helped us to develop SOTKA app, so it all works like this.
What is your prime target audience in terms of countries and also age groups? So in your marketing efforts, who are you looking at?
The interesting thing with SOTKA is that we don't have, for example, core demographics. We can say that mostly our users are 30-something office workers. We with lower back pain, not so much free time to go to the gym or fitness studio, and wanting to improve their health. But as I said earlier, we have participants from 5 to 75 years old. Even in one city, we have a team, a group of people with average age of 60 who are working out at SOTKA, meeting together and doing some other stuff. So it's actually not about the age, it's about the mindset. We really worked well with people who study physics or work in university or some kind of related to physics. Like SOTKA is being officially launched in Moscow State Physics University, MFTE. It also was launched in 2 nuclear power stations for the workers of the power station and for the people of the city which there the power station is located. So that's I think the kind of people with mindset who are looking for the first principles, like Elon Musk is always talking about, they are attracted by SOTKA because SOTKA doesn't give you the direct answers. Instead, it gives you information how your body is working, how different systems of your body are working, how the exercises are based on biomechanics or biology, physics, and etc., etc. So people who want to understand, not just simply to repeat what they see, but to understand how it all works, they are really attracted to SOTKA. So that's the kind of people we're interested. That's why we're very, on the one hand, we're very excited about going to the US market because there are a lot of universities like Stanford and Silicon Valley and a lot of people who might catch up with our idea. But on the other hand, we know that the percentage of people, of Americans who read a lot of books after the school is relatively low. And that's a big challenge for us because our application is mostly about reading and understanding. So we'll see.
But I'm sure it'll do great as it's been doing well. And on an ending note, I wanted to know that it's actually a 2-part question. One is directly related to SOTKA and the other one is more towards you. So the first question would be that what is that one industry trend in fitness right now that you are really enthusiastic about?
I guess it's additional reality. Like I see a lot of potential and we are developing. Still, we are very short on resources, so it's more like on a concept. But we are developing a game for pupils, for schoolers. There they will fight different monsters on the street playgrounds, but doing the push-ups, pull-ups, and other exercises. So using additional reality, we could make this really interesting idea, really interesting game. So I think that's the biggest trend. I'm really excited about it.
Great. And for you personally, what is your plan for 2020 then? What is it something that you're looking forward to in 2021?
It's a really tough question because last year was really difficult for us. As for me personally, I am waiting for the weather conditions to become really warm and sunny to spend much more time outdoors, working out on the playgrounds and pull-ups, push-ups, and all other activities which I like very much and which I wasn't able to do much during the last year. So I'm going to spend a lot of time on the streets this year.
No, I'm sure. I'm sorry, I have to reel back a little bit in because you mentioned how last year was a difficult year for you. Now, if you would like to talk about that a little bit in terms of how the pandemic affected your app or 2020 affected SOTKA and your movement. On that note, could you tell me how last year was for your app and what did you learn from it?
Okay. As for SOTKA, we didn't see much changes. And we didn't even expect it. We expected a little bit that then people got restricted and got locked in their houses, they would maybe discover other app because we got featured and so on, but we didn't so much growth. Like it was. As for the movement, street workouts, everything was put on hold. Like no events were carried out. A lot of playgrounds were closed, so people not working out on the streets. It was a major setback, and right now it's a little bit early to say if this year would be a comeback, because we will see it only when the weather will allow us to make the events and attract people. Right now it's hard to say at all. As for the experience which we had, as everyone else, we even before the COVID restrictions, we were heavily relied on the distributed network of people working on SOTKA and street workout and communicating mostly through the internet. So it wasn't something really new to us. We were well prepared. So I can't say, except for the mental factor that's sitting all day long in your home without the possibility to go outside and to work outside. That was tough. But
was it difficult for you to kind of manage everybody and keep everyone together in the community during the pandemic then?
We're building the communities on the principles that people are in the community by themselves. So we are growing them as leaders, so we don't have to like push them or stimulate them. They understand the social mission which we have, and they want to be a part of it. We want to participate in it and do something for the community. So no, it wasn't that difficult, despite the fact that everyone faced different problems and obstacles during that time. I can't say it's, once again, it's really early right now to make any conclusions about that, but I hope that it hasn't affected that much us.
If there was someone that wanted to enter the fitness industry, the digital fitness industry, and wanted to maybe create an app or a product, as someone that has had a long experience, what advice would you give them if they were someone that was just entering into the industry now?
Best way to enter is to just create an MVP and to test out the ideas which this person has as fast as possible and for as low money needed as possible. Because I see that a lot of people, they overthink the starting and creating an app. They're doing a lot of research, they're spending a lot of time on projecting the whole thing, and then they calculate the expenses. It became overwhelming. Like we started with just a topic on a site which costed us nothing, and only then we had several thousands of users, active users, which were proven that the concept is working and which give us the feedback that it was a great product. Only after that, we decided to transfer to the application and automate a lot of stuff. So before starting an app, before creating an app, think over how you can test your idea for as minimum money as you have.
Yeah, that's great advice, really. Yeah, so I suppose that would be all then. Because the thing is, I actually was taken aback because in my from my research, I thought that SOTKA is pretty much what you wanted to kind of talk about and well discuss and all of that. And just on that note, do you think that there is any specific topic that we have missed in terms of fitness and digital industry that we should have talked about?
I think not. I think overall it was a great interview. Like SOTKA is one of our products dedicated to the new people who are trying to get in shape, who want to get in shape, and who don't know where to start. Like it's just still it's just a part of the bigger movement of the street workout culture which we are promoting. So we have other projects which we will uncover in the upcoming years. But SOTKA, as for now, it's our biggest accomplishment.
No, that's really, I mean, I really think that it's a very unique product that is not scared of, well, you're not really chasing popularity and focusing on quality, which is something that's really great. Okay, bye bye. Have a good day.
Have a good day.